So this is probably my most unique craft to date, and I am obsessed. We will be turning this wooden metal framed tray into a gingerbread tray. Now, this one is about 14 inches. The wood round is about 14 inches, so a little bit bigger than that, including the handles of the tray. And I got this from Hobby Lobby. I found it in the clearance section. And the first thing I'm going to do is create a faux stain. I am using Apple Barrel's classic caramel mixed with a lot of water. Now, initially, I did not like the stain. I decided to darken it a bit by adding Apple Barrel melting chocolate, which you'll see in a moment. I wanted it to be a little bit darker. I just felt like it was too light. But to make your own faux stain, you just mix in a little bit of acrylic paint with some water, and that's it. Now, if you have a stain that you would prefer to use, obviously go ahead and use that. If you prefer to have it lighter or darker, this is entirely up to you. Now, let's talk about this tray. So, I found mine in the clearance section. This size is the bigger size. Hobby Lobby has two sizes, and you can find these in their wood section. Their unfinished wood. And this one was in the clearance section because it was missing a few. Girl can't talk today. A few screws, like me. I got a couple of screws loose. And it went from being freaking $20 to only four and some change. So of course your girl had to scoop it up. That was a hell of a deal. And obviously it was only gonna take a couple of cents to replace those tiny little screws. So I was all over this when I saw it. I was so excited. But there's a smaller one, which I believe is like $14. This one I think is like $20.99, something like that. And their wood section goes on sale 40% off, like I think every other week. So you will be able to catch it on sale. Obviously, not as low as I got mine, but still, it's better than paying full price. And here I am just simply using my faux stain all over the base of this tray. Now, I'm not too worried about my ends or my corners. The border around it isn't perfect, and it doesn't have to be because we will be covering that up later, and you'll see that in a bit. So I am taking a paper towel and I am wiping off the excess. I love how this base looked after this. It's so pretty. Use whatever stain you have, whatever paint you have, whatever color you want it. Obviously, there's no right or wrong to any of this. Just do what your heart tells you, okay? So now we set that aside to dry a bit. I am on to my spackle. I use lightweight spackle. If you've been here long enough, you've seen me use this DAP lightweight spackle several times. And what I like to do is put a few drops of acrylic paint into my spackle and just mix it up just to make sure it dries really, really white. And I got my bags in a 6-pack pre-tipped from Walmart. I like to do things to make my life easier. I am not a pastry chef, so I struggle with this a bit. I've gotten better just because I've been doing these like fake bake, like whipped cream things for a couple of years now. But these pastry bags are so nice quality. You can find pastry bags at Dollar Tree, but I've never used them personally, but I've heard some people say that they're garbage, and I've seen some people on YouTube actually use them. So it really just depends on you. And also, you can get any type of tip you want to. There's no right or wrong tip to use for this, but I love this one. I like how it looks once I pipe on my whipped cream, my faux whipped cream. And after mixing my spackle real good, I just spoon it into my piping bag and get ready to pipe it onto our tray. So I laid out all of my embellishments. These sprinkles I got from my mother, and she got them from Temu. And these other little gingies right here, she also got those from Temu. But I decided to use these gingies that I got from Hobby Lobby. I love the way these look. They're just the absolute sweetest little things. So we're going to be using these gingies and the sprinkles. And I also have some glitter. I will be using clear glitter. Now, I like to, when laying my spackle, I like to use glue to adhere it. I always feel like just laying the spackle on top of the surface, really of whatever you're putting it on, I feel like it just doesn't stick right. Like when I'm doing toppers for my hot cocoa bar, I pipe it onto foam rounds and it just doesn't seem to stick properly. So what I like to do is to add a little bit of glue. As you can see right there, it just wasn't sticking, but then when I put the glue down, it would stick. Now usually I do this with hot glue, but my glue gun is like one that just like takes forever to heat up, and I was just so impatient. Like I didn't want to wait, so I decided to use the wood glue. You will see me use the hot glue later, but they both worked just fine. It's just that hot glue dries quicker than wood glue or E6000, but use whatever kind of glue you have, because either way the spackle has to sit and dry for 24 hours. So if you use wood glue, E6000, whatever type of glue, you're either way it's gonna have to sit. But you know, I prefer hot glue over the wood glue, but they both worked, just fine. So I put little rosettes on the border of the tray. This is what I meant earlier when I said that the border doesn't matter because you're not going to be able to see it because we're covering it up. And now I'm taking these little ornaments that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I do it off camera a little bit. I was out of frame, but all I did was just group them together, and just cut off the strings and pull them off real quick. And then I add a little bit of glue to their feet before sticking them into the spackle. I do that all the time. Again, I just feel like they stick better. And I decided to decorate every other rosette with a little gingy instead of each and every one. And this, like I said, this is the bigger tray, so it took me about 1.5 packs of these gingies. Luckily I had 3. I always got a bunch of gingies on hand. And all I do is just kind of pick which ones I love the most and just stick them into the spackle every other rosette. And then the meticulous part is the sprinkles. That's absolutely so tedious. The sprinkles don't stick into the spackle by themselves. Like, you have to kind of just push them on, I kid you not, and you'll see in a moment, I hand placed each sprinkle. I hated it. It was annoying. I was so happy when I was done. Yeah, so that's what I had to do to get this to look cute. Now, it's tedious, but you know what? It ended up being worth it in the end. It is so pretty. So again, right before the spackle dries, right after I do my sprinkles, I sprinkle on a little bit of glitter. And I would recommend you put your glitter on after your sprinkles. So because the glitter will make it even harder. And I know this from experience, just trust me on this. So once I finished with that section, I just continued, let this dry, and check this out. Look at how pretty this is. Now I would recommend unwrapped foods because I didn't seal this. I just left it as is, and look how beautiful this is. It was so much fun. I had this vision in my head for like months after I found this tray, but just never got around to it until a couple weeks ago. And then it took me forever to finally get this video out to y'all. But y'all can do this with any tray you find. Let me know what y'all think about this. Would you make one of these? Let me know what y'all think about this down in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye.